From Vertical Measures, and I'm here hosting VM's monthly webinar series. Today's webinar is titled Powerful and Effective Link Strategies with Advanced Search Commands, and will be presented by two of our very own from Vertical Measures, KAILA Strong and BRYNNA BALDAUF. KAILA is the Director of Client Strategy and works to evaluate and analyze clients' overall internet marketing needs and develop strategies and recommendations for a successful campaign. KAILA also oversees the account management team at Vertical Measures and trains new account managers. As an internet marketing strategist, BRYNNA BALDAUF works in developing the search engine optimization of client websites by expanding their opportunities online. She helps each client to find unique placements for their content and links so that they can better develop their web portfolio. Before we get started and I hand over the presentation, I just have a few things to note. Today's webinar will be available by the latest Monday afternoon. We'll have both a recording and the slides, if not sooner, barring any technical problems. We'll also be happy to answer any of your questions, so if you just take a peek at your webinar interface, you'll see a little question applet where you can send anything you'd like me to ask BRYNNA and KAILA at the end of their presentation. Additionally, you can ask us questions via Twitter. You just use the hashtag VMWebinar, and we'll get to them as soon as we can at the end. Any questions we don't get to, we'll be sure to try to answer via email. If you're having any technical difficulties, can't see the screen, can't hear, just make sure to check your settings and also attempt to reconnect. That usually helps. So with my notes complete, I will hand it off to our presenters, KAILA and BRYNNA.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I guess I'll start and just talk a little bit about myself. As you said, I'm the Director of Client Strategy. I've been with Vertical Measures since about 2008. I am from Montana, and I am a self-professed obsessed with link building person. I have always been very, very interested in link building and link building strategy and thinking about outside-the-box types of strategies. So hopefully you'll be able to see some of my obsessiveness in the following slides. And then BRYNNA, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit?
Hi there, everyone. I'm BRYNNA. I'm an internet marketing specialist. As Quinn said, I've been with Vertical Measures for over a year now. I am from New York, born and raised, and I graduated from Rochester Institute of Technology. So I've been really into the web and link building for a long time.
Awesome. And you can find us on Twitter. I'm at ClickKAILA. You can see in the slides here. And then BRYNNA is little Bree. So you can follow her as well. All right. So we'll just get started right away. Advanced search commands definitely make you an expert searcher. Advanced search commands are really one of the ways that you can drill down into results and really find the types of sites that you're looking for to find link building opportunities, to strategize for clients, but there's also a lot of other benefits as well, which we'll go over in the following slides. All right, so what are advanced search commands? They're also commonly referred to as search operators. They're useful when basic queries just aren't working. When you're trying to use head terms or trying to use some descriptive terms in Google, advanced search commands and operators are very, very useful at finding what you're looking for. They kind of help uncover some hidden opportunities and help you gain more control over the results you see. So it's really important to understand what those search commands are and how best to use them either singularly or together. And much of what you're going to see in the following slides, we're going to look at what each of them are independent from each other, but the best use of them is often when they're used together. So definitely keep that in mind. And also keep in mind that it's kind of trial and error when you're using advanced search commands. You're going to want to use a few different search and then switch it up, use different keywords, get creative, and really start thinking about the types of queries that you're putting into Google to help you find the sites that you're looking for. So why use advanced search commands? I think the obvious is using it for link building, trying to uncover link building opportunities, but you can also do it with competitive analysis, trying to figure out what techniques and strategies your competitors are using, what types of content marketing initiatives are they doing, and just general seeing site architecture and things like that. You're able to do site searches and get a bit more in-depth to see what is cached and indexed in Google from your competitors. Additionally, keyword research, this is always a really good idea to use for advanced search commands. SEO, site auditing, just again like using them for looking at site architecture, what pages are being cached and indexed. And then lastly, definitely looking for content marketing opportunities. So we'll show you a couple of queries that are going to go through each of these particular items of benefit. And then in addition, just understanding, that these are all the benefits that you can get from use of advanced search commands, and trying to just rack your brain and using that marketing side of your brain to see exactly how best to use certain commands that we'll go over for your needs. All right, so some sample advanced search commands, which will go more over in depth. One is the exact match using parentheses, the exclude function, which is using a dash, the file type, which is using the EXT as the keyword phrase, keyword in the URL, so searching for a keyword that is actually in the URL on a site, keyword in the title of the title tag of a website, a wildcard, which kind of is a place card for an unknown, and then include similar words. So say you wanted to find examples of keywords, but you know that it's not just shoes that people search for. It's running shoes. It's tennis shoes. It's things on your feet. There's going to be a lot of different terms that are similar to the word shoes. So you would use a tilde for that. I've placed a link here at the bottom. SEO Moz has an awesome article, The Professional Guide to Advanced Search Operators. If you want to get more in depth and look at more than what we're just going to really dive into here, I would definitely recommend looking at that SEO Moz article and looking through the comments too. There's a lot of feedback throughout the comments, so definitely make sure to make it a point to look at that in the future. All right, so the first one we're going to look at is the exact. So this is using quotes, not parentheses. I said that before, using quotes. So you're going to want to use quotes around specific words or phrases that you want to look for. So you're going to search for an exact word or phrase, place that in between the quotes. It's often useful when you're narrowing down results. So if you're in a Google query, you're trying to search for, like this example in the top, fire education training. It might be that the words fire education training aren't put all together into one phrase. It might be fire education and training. So to narrow down your results, you can start to use the quotes a bit easier to help you filter through. You want to make sure to vary your exact phrases for that exact reason that I said. Fire education training could be one word, but it could miss out on an exact phrase of fire education and training. It can help you find duplicate content as well. So say, for example, you took a sample sentence or two from your website, you put the entire sentence in quotes, and you did a search for that. It's going to show you every location where that exact sentence or two that you put inside quotes is located on the web. And so if it's located on multiple pages, then you have a little bit of a duplicate content issue potentially. So it can kind of act as a good way to find duplicate content. And it's also great when searching for list and resource pages. So the examples I give here, the first one is we were working with a university that offered a fire science degree program. And I know that there are a lot of resource pages on the web that list universities and colleges that offer fire education training. So I did a query. Fire education is one word, training is another, association, and then resource. And I was able to find a resource page that listed a bunch of colleges and universities on an association page, which was a .org, which are often really great link opportunities. And it talked about fire education training. And because the school that I was working with offered fire science degree programs, it definitely fit. So it was a really good opportunity to get a link. And I think that one was a domain authority over 70 and a page rank of 5 on the page. So it was a really good list that I was able to get added to, and added credibility and value and authority for the client's website. And then the one listed at the bottom, another university or college that we worked with, they offer a healthcare ethics degree program, a bioethics degree program. And this is often a continuing education program for doctors. So by using the exact words continuing education, doctors, the word list, and bioethics, I'm able to find a site that talks about all those elements, contains words on the page that list doctors, it lists continuing education, the actual word list, and then bioethics, which is my keyword term. So by using the exact match, I'm able to find a page that directly correlates to each of those phrases. So you'll want to look and make sure that you're narrowing down your results and choosing the exact phrases. If you start to find that your search results pages are just coming up with a lot of things that don't necessarily make sense, really try to use this exact search command. It works pretty well. All right, so the next one is the exclude. So I often will do this if you are looking and doing search results and you keep finding maybe your own website shows up or a consistent website starts showing up and you just want it taken out. You know you can't get a link on that type of site, on that domain, so you want to completely take it out from your results. So it restricts a keyword or a site from the results. It's often used to filter results for more accuracy. And when used in conjunction with other commands, such as the example above, it can prove very beneficial. So for here, I did, maybe you're searching for the keyword, running shoes, and you want to take out Zappos.com because you're not going to be able to get a keyword or a link on Zappos. So you would put in the keyword phrase and then make sure that you're taking out the results from Zappos.com. So you put the dash and then no space and then just the domain.com, and that will take that out from the results. The second example at the bottom is I'll often use this when I'm doing branded link building. So I'm trying to find where my brand is mentioned and actually contain a link. Now, there's not really an easy way to do that. The only way that I know anyways is to be able to put in the brand name in quotes and then take out my own website, because I know that my brand name is going to be on those websites. But if I take those out of the search results, it's going to filter it a little bit easier so I can see if there's any new news articles or there's any bio pages or mentions of my brand. Then I can at least click through to those and see if maybe my link is there, or if my link isn't there, then it gives me an opportunity to find a link building strategy or develop a strategy and reach out to those webmasters. So the exclude can be pretty beneficial. All right, so the next one is file type. And this you would use the words EXT and a colon. And essentially just looking for the extension of the file type. It allows you to search for the file type. You can discover content marketing opportunities. So in the past with clients, I've been able to use this. Say I have a client who wants really awesome free guide, and I'm not really sure what types of topics are resonating within their industry. So I might put in a keyword phrase like this example with SEO, and I would do an extension of PDF, because as I know, most PDFs are free guides or some sort of a pamphlet brochure. It might start to narrow down some results for me to find SEO types of PDFs or health-related PDFs or whatever is in their industry. So by just using a couple of keyword phrases and then that word EXT and then the comma, no space, and the word PDF, you would be able to find that information. The second example listed here on the page is for social media, and the extension is DOC. So sometimes people will publish actual Word docs or actual files online that contain really great information and can act as opportunities to find content marketing opportunities or find resources. I've even done this in some instances when trying to find a contact for a website, because they might be listed in a .doc. So for instance, if I'm trying to reach out to an association and I want to find the webmaster for that association, I'd use the extension doc and then their name, and it might narrow it down to find something that I can download and find their information on. Something worth noting is that PDFs are a really great way to develop link attraction, or really it's a place where links can go. So if you have a PDF, search engines are able to crawl that PDF and see those links, and they will give you value for those. So I just wanted to make sure to note that so that you guys were aware. All right, so the next one is keyword in URL. So this is actually finding where a specific keyword is in the actual URL. You can find links pages, list pages, resource pages. These are all potential opportunities for link building. You can discover similar link building opportunities pretty easily with this as well. So for instance, if you were successful in the past at getting some links placed, look at that URL structure and see how the webmaster structured that URL. Are there any patterns or consistencies that you can see? Oftentimes, links pages or resource pages will actually say that in the URL. So you would be able to do the in URL, colon, no space, and then whatever that keyword is. And Google is going to search up serve up and find any URL that has that in the actual URL. And so it can really narrow down your results, especially if you're pairing it with some of the exact commands or other commands that we were looking at previously. All right, so another one is a keyword in the title. So search for a specific keyword in the meta title on a page. It finds links pages, list pages, resource pages like the INURL one. And then again, it can discover similar link building opportunities easily. So going back over some of the links you've built or some of your competitors' links, look at that meta title and see if there's any consistencies there. Are there a lot of pages that say links or list or resource? Are they valid and really good opportunities potentially? Sometimes links pages aren't going to be great. We all know that. They might be reciprocal link pages, or they might be a signal of buying links. But if it's a true good resource page and none of those links are paid for and it looks valid, it's still something that webmasters are using to put into meta titles or in URLs. So it is something that you can look for. So again, you put in title and colon, no space, and then whatever keywords you're looking for in the actual title. In title colon and all in title colon are the exact same thing. You could use either one. So in the first example, I'm looking for a resource list in the title. In the second one, I'm looking for, I'm using all in title and saying recommended sites. So just start to think about what that list page or resource page might look like, or kind of work backwards as far as the type of site that you're looking for. What would a webmaster put in the URL, or what would they put in the actual title, and then start to use those in your advanced search commands. All right, so the wildcard. The asterisk is substituted by one or more words. When it's paired with parentheses, with the exact, or not parentheses, I keep saying that, with quotes, it can uncover better results. It's a very flexible search command, and it's great for research. So in the first example, I'm looking for information about diabetic diets, but there might be keyword phrases in between that I'm not sure of, and so I want to find all the opportunities for diabetic diets. So in that instance, I would use that wildcard. In the second example here, I'm looking for authors. So I'm looking for in-post authors with the word guest and then a wildcard author. So it might be a guest post author. It might be guest blogging author. It might be just guest author. I would use that wildcard to be able to show up the results for any of that would be showing in the author field on a page. So that one's definitely a good one to look for and append some additional keywords on there to find more information. Search Engine Journal, I put that link at the bottom, how to use wildcard search with various Google services. This is a really great article. It allows you to see how to use that wildcard not only on Google, but on Google Images, any of the Google properties really, on your email. It allows you to really be advanced with using that wildcard asterisk. So definitely take a look at that one. All right, so the kind of last one that we're going to talk about, and then Brynna will go into some examples, and I'll go into some examples in a little bit, is the including similar words, so the tilde. It helps you find results with synonyms of the keyword immediately following that tilde. It assists when looking for related terms. So in the first example, I'm looking for shoes and running. I don't know if a webmaster would put the exact words shoes and running. They might use other phrases. So I'm going to tell Google, I want to know, shoes or a similar word and running or a similar word. Look that up for me and show me those results. And then at the bottom, I'm looking for an SEO glossary. Maybe that SEO glossary is a link building opportunity. Who knows? I'm going to use the word SEO and then glossary. It might be resource page. It might be index. It might be something else. So I'm going to look up SEO and then glossary and find all of the similar words to glossary. So I'm just kind of putting on your marketing caps and really thinking about, are there other keywords? Are there other keywords that maybe would be advantageous to look for? This tilde will include similar words. All right, so Brynna's going to go into some examples of effective search commands.
Change over the slide, please, Kayla?
Oh, yep, it's over.
Oh, mine's not connecting. Oh, there it goes. Okay.
Okay, cool.
So some examples of effective search commands. I highlighted all of these search commands here in red. So I'm just going to go through a little bit and talk about why they're effective. So when you're combining a few different things, it works really well together because you just get that much more power out of it, and you can really drill down into the long tail and find what you're interested in. You all probably know that the long tail is where you're going to find your most effective leads or your most interesting content. Well, it's the same thing with link building. If you're going to do any sort of link building, you're going to want to search for more than just your head terms, your keywords. So the first one, your INURL tag. It's effective because you're looking for exactly what it's going to say in the URL, as KAILA went over. The second one, your in title, along with your in text and your quotes. So you're looking at things like guest post opportunities, and if that is in the title, it shows they have a good content management system. They're marking it as a guest post. That means they probably would be open to accepting other guest posts in the future. The quotes are great because, like KAILA said, you can really narrow down what you want. So if someone says, this is a guest post by on their computer, or on their blog, then you can effectively find that blog that you're looking for. My computer just shut off on me, so hold on one second.
I'll start to continue with some of these other ones. So in URL, some of the examples that she provides, Write for Us is something that would be a page on a site where a guest blogging opportunity might exist. There's going to be potentially tens to hundreds of different ways that a webmaster would put in the actual URL something that would let you know that the guest posting opportunity is available. In the title, guest post or guest blog or guest writer, those are all in title sections that would show up when you are looking for some guest blogging opportunities. Using that or allows you to look for, in the title, you're looking for guest post or guest blog or guest writer. It's going to show up results for all three. So, you're kind of combining each one of those. When you're looking for write or blog or guest for us, you can put those in quotes as she provided here. And you're going to be looking for write or blog or guest with a wildcard for us because you don't know exactly how they're going to show that on the page. But you're using that long advanced search command. You're using multiple commands in order to show you the results that you really want to see. In the next one that's provided there, there's a tilde, so that's going to show similar words to submit because someone might not say submit, they might say something else. It might be add or it might be contribute. So you can use that word, you can use that tilde, and it's going to show similar words. You add the ors, you add more tildes to suggest or contribute. Each of these are going to show really great opportunities for guest blogging.
All right, I think we figured it out.
Okay, cool.
Sorry
All right.
about that.
I'll switch over to the next one. It's the authoritative search commands.
Yep. So these are all considered authoritative for their separate reasons. You're going to want to look for things like in the URL a .gov because obviously Google knows that that is a government site, so it's going to be trusted. Also, your edu, college, university, anything that has to do with higher education is generally considered authoritative as well. So if it is a .edu or anything else, a .org, even that a college is running, those are going to be very great for link building. They're going to pass a lot of link juice. Also, your .org and supporters. So if it is supporters and it's a cause that maybe your keyword would fit in with, it might be worthwhile to invest a little bit in the cause and see if you can get a list on their supporters page. A research council is always great because you just have the opportunity to kind of learn a little bit more about the keyword and see if there is anything there for you. Also, you want to take out anything that has to do with giveaways. Giveaways are considered spammy. According to Google, you want to take those out. It's the same with a sponsored post. If it says sponsored post anywhere on a blog, it's generally not going to be as authoritative as something that doesn't have that. Because really authoritative sites aren't doing sponsored posts, like NBC, CBS. Do they have sponsored posts on their site? No, not really. So you want to stay away from things like that. Also, Chamber of Commerce sites are great because there's so many natural links on there, and if it's relevant for you, it's a great place to get a listing. The same with K-12 education sites or libraries. If you are applicable in that area, they're always more than happy to put down sites that are relevant. So you can see at the bottom, this is a really powerful keyword string. So if you're looking for an edu or a gov or an ac.uk, and then you can put in your keyword, you can probably find a bunch of different sites from really authoritative places that have that keyword in it without coming up with everything on the internet. So finding relevancy. This is a little bit more of a strategy for you. So you want to diversify your keywords. You don't just want to do the same keyword over and over again. It's just you're going to come up with the same things time and time again. So you can use the tilde or the capitalized or to kind of switch it up a little bit. You can also use your strategic quotes, as KAILA mentioned before. And you can look at ubersuggest.org. That is a great website where you put in your keyword phrase, and it will show you hundreds of other things that are related to that. So it's basically a Google Suggest scraper. I put a little screen capture of it here on the side. So it'll show you your keyword plus whatever letter has been searched before. So here we did just keyword and E. So estimator, elite. It's a great tool, and I definitely suggest checking it out if you're trying to diversify your searches. You can also locate niche demographics. So you can include things like women, organization, university. You can get down to local, just to kind of switch it up and make sure that you are covering all of your bases. You can also geo-target, so that's taking local to a new level. You can do the libraries, the education sites, the universities that are within that geo-target, and you can definitely get some great things out of that. So social media searching. Even though we're going to cover mostly Google-related things, we have this slide in here because it is really important. If you're trying to find links on something other than Google, you can use some of the things like Twitter or Pinterest because they have great opportunities on there that you may not have thought of before. So you can pretty much see them on here, but I'll just run through them really quick. The Twitter search, so if it's containing both of the keywords, it's going to search for both of them. It's very default. That's what you do anyway. You can use the quotes on Twitter. You can use the capital OR. You can use the minus. You can also search for specific hashtags. Those are very popular. If you're looking for your keyword or if you have a hashtag that you know is related to your industry, looking that up can definitely find influencers within that industry who are talking actively about your keyword. So it might be worthwhile then to go in and see if they have blogs on their profiles. It's a little bit roundabout, but you can definitely find them through there. You can use the from : to find people who have tweeted it out. You can use the to, the at, of course. You can combine a bunch of different things, and you can do near. So you can kind of geo-target with that. You can also do within. So you can do 15 miles, you can do 16, you can do whatever you want to make sure that the geo-targeting is as close to what you're actually searching for as possible. It just depends on how varied you want to get or how geo-targeted you want to be. You can also do a bunch of different things like containing this and sent up to the state. You can do emoticons. You can also do question mark, so that'll make sure if there is a question mark in there, the person is probably asking a question. Maybe then you can go in and use that as a content marketing way and maybe answer that question on a blog post, point back to it later and say, hey, we answered it over here. That's a great way to do a little bit of link baiting, if you will. And then you also have your news source, so if it comes in via Twitter feed. So the Pinterest search is a little bit different because they don't have as many search operators that you can use. It's very simple. You can only enter up to 5 words in the Pinterest search. So that means that those 5 words are extremely important. If you take out a word, it's going to change your search dramatically. As you can see here, I searched for content marketing versus content marketing blog. And the results that you get are pretty varied. So it's important that if you are looking for something, you include certain keywords and kind of mix it up. You cannot use quotes. They don't affect the search at all. And the order of the keywords doesn't matter. But like I said, adding in something just as simple as blog can change your results 100 million times. So then the industry-wide operators. Because every industry is different, and the links that you can possibly get kind of vary a little bit by industry. Some are more prone to guest posting, like criminal justice, and some are more prone to list making, etc. So the criminal justice, they're very great with guest posting because there's so many topics that you can go into. Not that there aren't for many industries, but in my personal experience, I've just found that people are more willing to allow a guest post because there's not really people taking life or death or medical advice or anything like that from these. So there's a little bit less risk involved. So people are more apt to accept a guest post. So there's a lot of different topics to write about, and you can kind of vary the keywords, which is where you're going to have the most success. So criminal justice, and this is a guest post. Just looking for somewhere that says this is a guest post. You can also have criminology, because even though they are different in the real world, online people often mistake them, and you can sometimes cross-post. People might write posts about criminology even though they actually mean criminal justice. It's a very easy way for people to get confused, but you can capitalize on that. If you are looking for an INURL edu, you can find a place that talks about criminology and has Write for Us. So they're looking for people to actively write for them about criminology, and they are an edu site. That's pretty much a win-win of situations, and I can only be so lucky to get one of those links. You can also do your OR, which is great for diversifying your keywords. If you find two keywords that are very similar, such as criminal justice and criminology, you can actually use the OR and make sure that one isn't discluding the other. And here we're looking for a .org, do an INURL blog if you wanted to, but you can mix it up. You might get different results. So the nursing, healthcare, and medical fields. This is great because you can find a lot of varied niche bloggers within this, and you can use your demographics to target it down. So you can use women nurses, male nurses. You can do healthcare in Alabama versus healthcare in Minnesota because it's going to be a little bit different. You can also involve workplaces. Of course, this is true for any niche, but it's especially great in the healthcare field because there's so many different hospitals or medical centers that all have websites, potentially blogs. Sometimes they have lists. It's a wonderful place. So you can include things like hospital, home care nurse, travel nursing, really looking at your keywords and varying those. You also have many organizations which you can target. So a lot of them are also going to be high level. A hospital obviously is going to rank well because Google knows that it is an actual business. It's authoritative. They're not in the business of spamming people. Hospitals don't have extra time for that. So you can see from that, this is going to be a pretty authoritative niche to try and search through. You can use the tilde for nursing because you might be looking for something else related to health. You could be looking for, doctor studies, something like that. Suggest a topic and a .gov. So a suggest a topic is another way for people to kind of gain information. So using that in quotes just kind of makes sure that you can find people who are actively seeking information from their users. You can also do, again, with the varying the keywords, healthcare as one word or healthcare as two words, because a lot of the times people get confused between those. You can just kind of make sure you're not missing anything. Also, you can do I am a, and fill in the blank. So here we chose to do nurse, because people talk about that on their blogs. If it's a personal blog, then they are usually able to say, I am this, I am that, and you can play around with the language a little bit.
All right, so the next one that we wanted to go over was general education lists. I kind of alluded to that in earlier slides. But colleges and universities, using that in quotes, Florida, a specific city, or state or city, if your college or university or business is located in that area. I'm looking for INURL recommended, and I'm taking out .edu because there are a lot of colleges that will recommend or have recommendation pages for colleges and universities in a specific area, but I don't want those. It's probably not going to be an opportunity. They're not going to want to put my school on there, and so I would take that information out. Another one is colleges and universities in the United States. I'm going to use INURL list, and again, taking out the .edu. Because 9 times out of 10, when you find those sites on a .edu, it's an actual school itself. They're not going to list your school. So if you're finding that, there are, this minus will definitely work when you're finding that a lot of sites keep coming up and you just know for sure that's not an opportunity for you. Another one is continuing education and putting in the actual career and then recommended colleges. So continuing education for nursing. You could do continuing education, nursing, and then recommended colleges. And then the last one listed here is an association, and then similar words to the word suggested, and then INURL list. So I'm trying to find an association, some sort of a organization, so the National Women's Nursing Association. Maybe they have a list on their site of suggested colleges. So I would use this query to help find one of those general education lists. The next one is finding industry and niche bloggers. ALLINTITLE is going to show you the blog when you put the blog after the ALLINTITLE colon. And here I'm using the keyword industrial supplies. So I want to find a blog that talks about industrial supplies. Maybe they have an opportunity for me to submit a guest post. Even if they don't say that they accept guest posts, they still might want to reach out. So most blogs will have the actual word blog in the title tag on that page. So using ALLINTITLE and blog seems to work. INURL blog. So most blogs are have blog in the actual URL. I'm going to use one of my keyword phrases like link building. And here I've taken out vertical measures because I know that we do link building, and I know we have a blog. I don't want that in my results. I just want to see everyone else's for opportunities. And then lastly, ALLINTITLE blog, and then industrial with wildcard and supplies. So I want to find a blog that talks about industrial supplies, but I don't know how they're going to say that. They might say industrial medical supplies, industrial lab supplies. I'm not sure what they're going to say. So if I have that listed and have that wildcard there, it's going to show me similar words. Another one is brand searching and news search. So I use these brand searching queries in news.google.com. You can also do it in the blog search for Google. And brand names are often listed, but if it's a news organization or some third-party blogger and they're talking about a brand, sometimes they just don't link to the actual website. And to me, it's a really great opportunity to reach out to that webmaster and say, hey, thank you so much for writing about our brand, but I noticed you didn't mention our website. If your web visitors want to find more information about us, why don't you add a link to that brand name? So if I'm going to reverse engineer that, and I'm going to go into Google blog search or Google News or set up Google Alerts, I'm going to test out some of these long keyword phrase, these long search commands, and try out some. So the brand name minus the brand site, or the brand name minus the brand site, and then actual news release as the keyword. So then I'm finding news and the brand, and maybe someone wrote it, picked up a news release but didn't link to us. That might be an opportunity. You can use the tilde and find industry keywords along with the brand name and minus the brand site. Because again, I don't want to show my own brand. I know my brand site has my name listed, but I want to find opportunities where it's other sites that are talking about me. And then the last one is INURL blog. So you're wanting to find a blog site that lists your brand but doesn't have, but it's not your brand that's actually showing up in the results. So these are all ways to find potential opportunities. Content placement opportunities, Brynna went over quite a few of these, but keywords like write for us, writer application, a site that allows you to become a writer on the site is an opportunity for link building, and looking for the keyword writer application makes sense. Becoming a writer, using similar terms like that, like the tilde and shoes, so finding similar words to the word shoes, and then guest blogger is the exact phrase, or guest author is the exact phrase. In the actual title, looking for write for us. In post author, using the word guest and then finding a specific keyword phrase. Each of these are good opportunities to find content placement. All right, so we're going to wrap up a little bit. I know we went over our time just a tad, but so what have we learned in today's presentation? How and why advanced search commands work, the different types of advanced search commands. BRYNNA and I both talked about associated link building strategies with commands, using search commands with social media. That was very helpful that BRYNNA provided because Twitter and Pinterest and other social networking sites can really provide you with a lot of information for link building. And then sample queries that have been proven useful for us, and then research before searching yields better results. So anytime you have an opportunity to research using the Uber suggest, like BRYNNA suggested, looking at some of those varied keyword phrases and things of that nature are always a really great idea to do before you start, messing around with some of these search commands and really looking for link building opportunities. All right, so that is it for our presentation. Hopefully we have a couple of questions.
We do. We got one from Charles. He asked, how is EXT different from file type?
So with that one, it isn't different. A file type and EXT is the same. It's similar to that all in URL versus in URL, or it's similar to all in title versus in title. There's quite a few different search commands that are going to be the same. So that file extension is the same as file type.
Cool. And also, I know you mentioned at the beginning that you've used these search commands for competitive analysis. And I just was wondering if you guys could speak a little bit to that and maybe give a specific example of how you would use these commands when researching competitors and when trying to find out how you should kind of make yourself different.
Sure. So for me, and BRYNNA, you can add some examples if you have them, but when looking for a competitor, I might do site, colon, and then the actual website, the actual competitor website. And then I want to do some searching on their site. So I might do, site, colon, domain.com, and then I'm going to try to find in URL links. So maybe they have a links page, maybe they have a resource page. I'll be able to find those pages pretty easily if I start to use some advanced search commands. And then that way I understand their strategy, and it also helps me to see what pages on their site are cached and indexed and what search engines want to show highest in the results. So just doing a site search and just checking it out to see. And then just seeing how many pages they actually have indexed and comparing that to my own. Maybe they're doing a ton of content marketing, and I need to step up my game, so that would kind of show that information as well.
Okay, great.
And on my side, on the link building aspect, you can use it in a really wonderful way. If you know 2 or 3 of their keywords, you can actually look up their site and see if it is linked to. So you can do something like their keywords and then guest post and then perhaps an author bio, and you can string those along and see if you can't find 1 or 2 of them. If you don't feel like looking up competitor backlinks, or it's just a roundabout way to do it. So if you don't have access to that technology, that's a great way to try and find who has linked to them, or places that would link to them, and you can kind of preempt it.
Great. Well, I don't think we have any other questions right now, but if anyone has it after the webinar, feel free to just email us, and we'll get those covered. But I think that's all the time we have today, so I wanted to thank BRYNNA and KAILA. We appreciate everything that you've given us. I think all the specific examples especially were super powerful. So thank you from all the Vertical Measures team, and please mark your calendar for our next webinar. It's going to be on June 11th at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. KAILA is going to be double dutying it for us, so she'll be presenting as well in June. It's going to be Measure, Analyze, and Act, Develop a Data-Driven Content Marketing Strategy. This is going to be really interesting. KAILA is a Google Analytics pro and is able to take statistics, break them down, and put them into action. So it will be all about that and helping you develop a really strong strategy based on real-life data. So that registration is already open for that on our website. It's verticalmeasures.com/webinars. So again, thanks to BRYNNA and KAILA, and that's all we have for you today.